it's a movie about the creation of a shoe, but wow, it is actually so much more than that. Now, if I just say that, it doesn't sound too interesting, but this shoe is the Air Jordan, which would go on to change one company and, well, sports forever, and still make an impact on the world to this day. So as I said at the top of the show last night, Kendall and I got a chance to see a sneak preview of Ben Affleck's new movie, Air. Now, before we share our review, here's a look at the movie.
My name's Sonny Vaccaro. I'm with Nike.
Do you typically make it a habit of showing up at people's front doors unannounced?
I don't like to take no for an answer.
Oh, man, here we go.
You ask me what I do here. This is what I do. I find you players, and I feel it this time. Yeah, okay, it's risky. When you were selling sneakers out of the back of your Plymouth, that was risky. Don't change that now.
For a rookie?
Yes.
Who's never set foot on an NBA court.
That's the literal definition of rookie, yeah.
What's the plan?
We build a shoe line around just him. I need the greatest basketball shoe that's ever been made.
Who's the player?
Michael Jordan.
I am just going to cut right to the chase. I absolutely loved this movie. Like, loved, capital L, loved this movie. And let me tell you why, and then I can't wait to hear from my buddy here. Everything about it they do well. First, the story. I kept thinking to myself, this is just a great story to tell. It is a story about perseverance. It is a story about dreamers that go, you know what? Research says this. Luck, forget all of that. We're going to follow our gut and go with X, Y, or Z. Mm-hmm. I love stories like that. Next, the writing is snappy. It's funny. There's like a dynamic between the cast that's just crackling, especially Jason Bateman right there and Matt Damon. They all play guys at Nike. And then the acting. Viola Davis as Michael Jordan's mom is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Matt Damon as Sonny, who basically, as you saw in the clip there, is bound and determined to make this deal with Jordan. And Michael, even though he's a young player, wants nothing to do with Nike because Nike was the lame shoe. I know, I grew up in this era. Everybody wanted to wear Adidas, including MJ. Nobody wanted to touch Nike. I'm not going to say anything more about the story because if you don't know it as it unfolds, it's just joyous. But Air hits air and never comes back down. I mean, yeah, I love it.
So
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so good. I went into it. I mean, I'm a basketball fan. I love all the actors that are in the movie, so I was just mostly curious. My husband's a huge Michael Jordan fan because he's from the Chicagoland area, so he grew up watching.
Yeah, Jordan
him,
and
right?
I are both from, yeah.
So this was mostly why we went. I left on the same thing. One, it was quick. It wasn't a really long movie, which is so nice. Now I feel like every movie I go to is like 3 hours. This was a nice hour and a half.
You're right.
But I wanted to read more about the story after I left, which I think is a good thing. It speaks to just how interesting of a piece it was that you're like, I want to kind of know. So how long did it take them to develop the rest of the shoes? And they give a little bit more information at the end. And I liked Michael's role in it because I know we talked about this, how people asked him, hey, Ben Affleck, why don't you have somebody playing Michael? It's a movie about his shoe. And he said, I didn't want it to distract from the plot line because you all know who he is. You know who Michael Jordan is. And he's in it, but he's not. And it doesn't distract. It doesn't take away from it. They do a really, really good job with that, I thought.
It is feel good. Mm-hmm. It is, like I said, a great story. They do the 80s very well.
Yes.
There's a Wonder Woman 84 came out a couple years ago, and they never really embraced the 80s. This movie embraces the 80s, the culture. You feel like you're in 84 when this happened. You feel like you're in this meeting. And, if you've ever been told by a boss, oh, let's not do that, but you just have a gut feeling and you go for it, you will identify with Sonny's character, Matt Damon. Mm-hmm. If you're a mother who believes in her kid more than anybody else, you'll identify with Mrs. Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
You'll identify with Viola Davis. And Ben Affleck as Phil Knight, the founder of Nike. He's irreverent and just a goofy guy and a good guy. And there isn't a bad thing about this movie. I really can't think of a net negative about it.
No, and there were 2 moments when the audience it was a full pack theater, that they laughed and were like, oh, audibly. That was at the gas station that Sonny goes to, which the 80s references are galore in that. And then when Viola Davis's character, Miss Jordan's talking about what her son deserves, there were people audibly like, yes, 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 and clapping her along. It was really cool.
This isn't giving anything away because y'all know Michael Jordan, but
Shock.
But Viola Davis, the line Kendall's referring to, is something like around this. She said to the Sonny, Matt Damon, she goes, "A shoe is just a shoe until my son wears it," and the whole audience
sounded like that.
It was, go see it. It hits theaters today. Go see it. Go see it. Go see it. Air, great movie. Yeah, so darn good. We're going to take a break a little bit later. I'm heading into the audience. And, well, say a prayer. We'll be right back in a moment.